In a related video, we observed overwhelming support for the global climate plan across various countries, including the US, the EU, China, India, Japan, and Brazil. Now I will present the core principles of the Global Climate Plan and explain why it is fair and feasible. The Global Climate Plan is based on 3 key principles. Principle 1. Carbon budget and emissions reduction. The Global Climate Plan is based on the principle of setting a carbon budget to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius, in line with the universally adopted target of the Paris Agreement. Signatory countries would agree on an emissions trajectory, which would establish an annual global emissions quota and ensure emissions align with the target. Emission permits would be auctioned annually to polluting firms like oil companies, making polluters pay for their emissions. Alternatively, a carbon tax could be implemented, which would need to be adjusted annually to ensure compliance with the emissions trajectory. The negotiation of this trajectory is one of the key elements in such a plan. Principle 2. Redistribution into a global basic income. The revenues generated from carbon pricing would be redistributed as a global basic income. It is estimated that the basic income would start at $30 per month and stabilize around $50 per month, gradually decreasing towards zero in the second half of the century once carbon neutrality has been achieved. While $30 per month may seem modest, it would effectively double the standard of living for the 1 billion people with the lowest incomes. Distributing a basic income to people who lack internet access, electricity, and sometimes even civil status poses significant technical and organizational challenges. However, solutions do exist. See the channel's video on basic income in India. India's biometric identification system, which was successfully implemented in just 7 years, provides secure identity linked to bank accounts for 99% of the population. While some African countries may face institutional capacity challenges compared to India, the combination of satellite internet and smartphones capable of authenticating biometric identities and facilitating payments provides the necessary technology for income distribution. And in case direct distribution of the basic income proves unfeasible, an option would be to transfer funds to the national or local governments to develop public services and infrastructure. Principle 3. A climate union with a border carbon tax. The Global Climate Plan would come into effect once countries accounting for at least 60% of global CO2 emissions have ratified it. The plan includes mechanisms to elicitate participation from more countries. Economists call this a climate club, but let's call it a climate union. The main element of a climate union is a border carbon tax, imposing a tax on goods imported from non-union countries according to their carbon content. The European Union is already in the process of large-scale implementation of this approach. The border carbon tax removes the incentive for companies to relocate to countries with less stringent climate regulations. The map illustrates the gains in blue or losses in red for each country if the entire world were to participate in the described system. This estimation considers gains and losses for each year until 2080, when all countries achieve carbon neutrality. As expected, high-income countries would contribute financially, while lower-income countries would gain monetary transfers. But bear in mind, these estimates that show high-income countries losing are pessimistic. This is because they express gains or losses compared to a hypothetical situation with the same stringency of carbon pricing everywhere and without revenue sharing across countries. In practice, this situation is not the status quo. The status quo is a situation with less stringent climate policies in low-income countries, but stringent goals in the EU. Compared to the status quo, the EU would actually gain from the Global Climate Plan once we account for the benefits of a stabilized climate and for the efficiency of more homogeneous decarbonization efforts across the world. However, certain concerns arise from these findings. It appears that middle-income countries like South Africa, Iran, and China would experience monetary losses. This is due to their per capita emissions being higher than the global average. It may seem unfair to make individuals who earn around or below the world average income contribute to the rest of the world. Furthermore, what incentive would these countries have to join the agreement if they suffer losses? We urgently require China's cooperation as they account for 30% of global emissions. To address this issue and avoid penalizing middle-income countries, the Global Climate Plan allows them to participate in the global emissions trading system, while being exempt from revenue sharing. More specifically, an opt-out clause would enable countries whose per capita GDP does not exceed the world average by more than 50% to retain the revenues collected within their territory and utilize them as they see fit. This ensures that middle-income countries do not lose in the system. Additionally, provisions aim to prevent high-income countries from being monetary winners if their per capita emissions fall below the world average due to rapid decarbonization. For those interested, the plan's details can be found in this book by Adrien and Fabre. The description also includes references. In light of these adjustments, the map portrays monetary winners and losers under the Global Climate Plan. As depicted, the majority of countries are either winners, like India, or fall into neither winner nor loser categories, like China. If we include countries like the EU and the UK, which may endure monetary losses, but where 3/4 of the population support the plan, we already cover 2/3 of global emissions, enabling the agreement to come into effect. It's unlikely that Gulf countries or Russia will participate in the system. The situation is uncertain for other wealthy countries, especially the United States. Although we have seen majority support for the plan among Americans in another video, this majority is narrow, and public opinion may shift if influential media figures oppose it. Moreover, Republicans largely oppose the plan, and the United States cannot ratify an international treaty without agreement from the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the President. Consequently, the Democrats would need to control all three of those institutions, which is no easy feat. However, there is a workaround to this problem. The plan includes clauses that allow states to join the agreement even if the federal level does not participate. Given that California, New York, and Massachusetts predominantly lean Democratic, there is hope that these influential states will join the union. Are you still there? Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video. At this point, I would like to invite you to sign the petition in support of the Global Climate Plan, share this video, consider joining the Global Redistribution Advocates, or making a donation to the organization. Currently, Global Redistribution Advocates is run by a dozen volunteers, but aim to hire a full-time advocacy officer to reach out to as many elected representatives around the world as possible. The team at Global Redistribution Advocates is genuinely interested in hearing your thoughts in the comments below. You can follow the Global Redistribution Advocates on social media. And hey, why not hit that thumbs up? Until next time, ciao.